Mic check, mic check. You good?
Here we go.
You having a stressful day and need a few laughs? Well, you come to the right place. Myself, Lyric, and Jimmy Jam are fathers formerly in the music industry who have a lot to say. So sit back, sip your cup of coffee, and welcome to the shenanigans.
Welcome to the Coffee Break
What's
Podcast.
up, everybody?
I'm feeling very good today, baby.
Oh, I'm ready for a great episode
Ladies
tonight.
and gentlemen, welcome to another amazing episode of the Coffee Break Podcast. I'm your favorite host in the world, Lyrican, along with my brother,
Jimmy Jam.
How you doing, brother?
Doing good. I can't believe we're on episode 19. Wow. 19.
I feel like the teens took a little while to get to, when we get to like 100, we'll be like, damn.
I know.
Remember when we were hype about 19?
I know, but the teens are kind of like, annoying teens. Like, they kind of give you attitude and stuff like that. You just want to get past it and go into the 20s.
Maybe episode 21, we should talk about like a lot of alcohol. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I hope everybody's having a magnificent week here. We are. A lot of things are happening around my household. I did a lot of cleaning up outside. They are repaving our cul-de-sac or whatever you want to call the little area that I live in. So we got to get everything out. So like my flower pots and all that stuff that my wife likes to have around the house. So I'm tired.
I hear you. It's been a weekend. I mean, a relaxing but a lot of stuff to do weekend kind of thing.
Yeah, you and the lovely lady went down camping.
Yes.
Glamping.
We did. It was Bennett's birthday weekend.
My homie, happy birthday.
He turned the big 9 years old. So, he was really excited. Jimmy did his first gig this weekend. I wanted him to go down, but he could not. So he did his first gig by himself.
First solo gig?
First solo gig. He did a house party down in Maryland.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was a little touchy. He said there was a little bit of a riff at the end. Not with him, but with, a couple of the people at the party. But I told him, nobody puts drinks on your tables.
Yep.
Nobody comes there and says, hey, let me push the buttons there, buddy. And
I hated that. Yeah.
And nobody, if they come up to you and they say, you have this song and you don't, it's okay. You don't need to have every song.
When I used to DJ, we used to put tables in front of our tables so they couldn't be that close to us.
I know. But, it's a house party, and that's how we all start out, doing the smaller type things. And he was very excited about it, and it was a long gig. I mean, it was like 7 to 2.
House party. Ain't nobody getting hurt tonight. That movie was great.
Kid and Play.
It's hurting my feelings that they're redoing those movies.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Who's going to play Kid and Play?
I don't know, but Kid and Play have nothing to do with it. Like, they're not even a part of...
But what about the High Top Fade?
I don't know. It's gonna be a bunch of mumble rappers, and they're gonna ruin our movie.
You can't replace the Kid and Play kick step. You just can't.
Nah, that was great. Those movies were great.
Yeah, they were. They were good, funny movies with Full Force, and wasn't that the name of the?
Yeah, Full Force.
Yeah,
Martin Lawrence.
That was one of his starting roles.
With him and his dragon breath.
Belial, wasn't that his name?
Belial, yeah. He was the DJ.
Yeah.
Yo, if my friend was play and he put my equipment in the back of that little Chevette that he had and scratched up my speakers, play, don't play.
That was a good movie. I mean, they were all good movies, but so Jimmy did his first house party, and he said it was really good for him, and he was happy. And then he had a wedding with Edge. So we were down at the campground, and I always miss it when Jimmy's not there, because it's like a piece of my family is not with us.
Yeah.
But he's spreading his wings, kind of like the song Troop. Spread my wings and fly away.
He's out there learning himself.
He is, and I got to give him credit. He's hustling, he's bustling, and he's making the money. So, more power to them.
We're gonna get him on the show one of these times.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do that.
We're gonna have to get him on the show.
Yeah,
That should be interesting.
maybe for his 21st birthday, we'll do that.
Oh man. So no shenanigans down at the campground?
No, there's some things I want to talk about, but it's not necessarily about the campground. It's about being a decent neighbor.
Ooh.
Paying it forward, that kind of thing.
We do the pay it forward thing every so often. Every chance we get. I mean, obviously, if it's in our price budget, we try to.
Yeah.
You know, we do the McDonald's things every so often. We've done the sheets thing, you know. But something that simple can make people feel amazing.
Yeah, it's like, give them $5 and say, hey, apply this to the next person behind me, apply this to their meal. But it doesn't have to be monetary. It can be the kindness of your heart and doing something for your fellow man or woman. One of the things like I love about the campground is it's a community. Mm-hmm. And you saw that. I mean, people were actually asking about you.
I'm famous down there.
They loved you. They wanted to make sure you made it home safe.
Oh, yeah. I escaped the purge.
Yes. You were all worried about being sacrificed like Godzilla or King Kong, and you came home safe.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, well, I was told it's not the first time. Yeah, you have to, after the second trip is when I get sacrificed.
Second or third.
Maybe.
But no, all kidding aside, people did ask about you. And one of the things, I was replacing some deck boards this week.
Oh, yeah, I did call you when you were doing that. Yeah.
It wasn't going well.
You looked like you were sweating up a storm.
Oh, it was hotter than heck. And, when I get under pressure, I sweat. And it's, I use degree, but it doesn't always work. No, I get really stressed and I sweat, and I especially when I want something to go right and it's not working the way my mind sees it. You have that vision of something that you want to do, and our deck, for those of you who don't know, you cannot have any permanent structures in the campground, because if you don't pay, then they move you out. And so they don't want anything permanent. Like, you can't have permanent decking, but you can have...
So they put everything of yours out on the lawn. That's great.
No, but they give you sections of decking, and it's a 4x8 section. And it's, some of them are nice sections, some of them are not. You have to purchase them, and they are yours once you buy them, but you don't necessarily get to permanently put them down. So sometimes there's settlement from the sand, and some decks sit higher than other sections. And I had these two boards, where the steps go to the camper, that were bowed up. So I thought for sure what I would do, in my mind, I went and got all these sections of decking to replace at Lowe's. So I started to rip up the old boards and put down new ones. Well, the new boards are about a hair inch thicker than the old boards that they used to use for decking. And it wasn't the boards that were bowed, it was the frame. So I immediately set into panic mode, because Christy and the kids went to the beach because they didn't want to be around me when I was doing this.
They didn't want to see him fix it, Felix.
Yeah, they I'm not the handyman. You asked me to put together a, $30,000 sound system. I can do it, but when it comes to repairing decking or anything like that, I'm Tim the Toolman Taylor, not. So all of a sudden, I'm there and I'm frustrated, and I'm trying to get this frame situated and worked, and it's heavy. I mean, it's a 4x8 section of wood, and I have it lifted up with one hand, pounded it with, the nails in with another, trying to drill into it. And the guy shows up from 2 streets over, and he says, "Hey, what are you doing, buddy?" I said, "Oh, Thomas, how you doing?" I said, "I'm trying to fix this." He goes, "Well, what are you trying to do? And I showed him what was going on. He's like, He's like, yeah, this isn't right. Now, I don't know what he had planned, but he took 2 hours out of his day and kind of took over the project, which I'm not complaining about, but he literally helped me put things together. Like, he had the vision that I did not.
Trust me, I know. When I was down there, I was doing the work and you were drinking the beer.
Oh, well, someone's has to, but no, he was showing me what to do. He was like, hey, cut this way and cut it to this length, and put your screw in here and drill it here. And I was doing it, and then he just took the time out of his day and helped me out. And I was so caught up in the moment that I didn't really get to thank him. And then, at the end, his wife was, calling him. His daughter came over, and he had things to do.
Yeah.
But he took it out of his day to help me out. And I didn't ask him. He just saw somebody in need and reached out and said, hey, let me give you a hand.
We need better hearted people like that in the world.
Thomas is a very, very, very good man, and he's a very kind man. And I told him, I said, I messaged him and I said, hey, I didn't get to really thank you for today. And I said, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the help that you gave me and taking time out of your day to do it, because he's not down there to do work.
Down there to relax.
Yeah. And, he took the time to do it and help me. And I just said, there's not enough thanks that I can give you. I want to have you and your family over for dinner some night. But he said, hey, look, you don't need to thank me, buddy. Anytime you need help, I'm here for you. He goes, that's just the type of person I am. He goes, if you ever need help, all you have to do is ask.
Beautiful.
And I think more people need to be like that. Not just for your friends, for your family, but you're driving down the road, you see someone, they're struggling, help them out. Now, I know you got to be careful nowadays.
Yeah.
You don't know what kind of situation you're getting into if you're being set up, so people are hesitant. But if you see a neighbor...
It's sad, though, that you have to be hesitant because of stuff like that.
Yeah. But, maybe there's that 78-year-old, 90-year-old neighbor next door that has to walk out and get their paper in the morning.
Oh, yes.
Walk over and put the paper in their door for them.
Yeah, I'm always, when it snows or something, I'm the one out there shoveling everybody out. And, yeah, I try to pull forth effort, positivity. I got a good story for you with the pay it forward. So, at one point, a couple years back, I think saying about before I got the current job that I'm at now, there was about a month where I was laid off from my previous job and I was looking. So my uncle, which I consider my father, at the kindness of his heart, was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I was like, "Nothing." He goes, "I want to come pick you up. I'm going to go buy you groceries for the house, so guys don't have to worry about that." I said, "All right, great." We go shopping. He goes, "Don't matter what it is, throw it in the cart. Don't worry about it." I purchase and I get a lot of stuff. Like my cart was overflowing. We get in line, Jimmy. And by the time we are done, the person next to us in the next columns turns around, taps the lady and says, "Here's my credit card." He goes, "I need to pay for that vet's food." My uncle has his Vietnam vet hat on. And my uncle's just staring at him. He goes, "Well, I'm just buying for my son." He goes, "I don't care. You fall for me. I can pay for your food. I don't care how much it is."
That's beautiful.
So my uncle says thank you. We shake his hand. Brief conversations. So my uncle turns around, puts $200 on the thing. He goes, "Put this towards her food." The lady behind her. So it was a nice little chain where he was trying to help me get food, which turned into somebody doing something good for my uncle because of his service to this country. which he turned around and helped somebody else with it.
And it's a chain reaction.
And it's a contagious enjoyment.
I agree with you.
Pretty cool. My wife texts me all the time like, "Hey, do you care?" I'm like, "I never care if you do that.
No.
Just do it. Like, here's an extra $20 to pay for the cart behind me too." You know what I mean, if my daughters love chicken nuggets, so she's always getting damn chicken nuggets.
I am very big on doing it like that for the military. If I see somebody buying something, like I'll go up and offer, like, you know, even a cup of coffee or something like that, or a lunch or a breakfast, especially for our military or a vet. You know, my dad is a Vietnam vet as well, and I can never thank him enough, or any of the men and women that have served for this country, for the great, how can I say this, sacrifice that they've made.
Yeah.
For giving up their time for my freedom. And I was driving down the road next to us on the golf cart, actually today, and there was a gentleman there with the Vietnam veteran saddle on, and he had the Vietnam, you know, colors. And I looked at him and I stopped the cart. All four of us were on it. I stopped. It came to a dead stop. They looked over at me like, "Why are you stopping?" And I said, "I just want to thank you for your service, and I want to say welcome home." Because they didn't hear that when they came back from Vietnam.
A lot of them did not.
So, you know, pay it forward. If you see a vet, buy him something. Not, you know, don't make him feel uncomfortable. You don't have to run up and buy him something. But if you're standing in line and there's a veteran or a military or something like that, or you see them sitting down, pick up the tab. They picked up yours for years when they served.
Yeah. You ever see the I believe he was the oldest, one of the last remaining, the war before Vietnam.
Okay.
Can't remember which one it was.
Well, there was Korean. There was World War II.
I think it was Korean. He was one of the last remaining people alive from the Korean War. I think it was. I have to fact check it. I'm gonna find a video and I'm gonna put it on the screen. But he's watching the Boston Marathon.
Mm-hmm.
And he's sitting there and he's watching, and he's sitting there. He's in his wheelchair and he's watching, and then he sees a bunch of people pass by that have military hats, like the military colors on. So he stands up in his wheelchair, and a Boston Marathon in that instant turned into a line of marathon runners shaking his hand. As soon as he stood up, they were all shaking his hand, running out of their way to shake this guy's hand.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, post that for everybody.
I have to post it. I'm going to find it because it was one of the dopest things that I've ever seen, because he stood up to pay homage to the military people running.
And they paid homage back to him.
And it was heartwarming, and I was like, wow, that was a really dope moment that I got to see. I mean, it was on the news, and then it was a big thing a while ago. So I might have to search the wide webs and find that.
Yeah, you know, a lot of soldiers came home from the wars, and there's a lot that didn't. So for all those that gave some, and for some that gave their all, just want to say thank you.
Thank you. So, Mr. Jimmy.
Yes.
This next topic, I kind of have a strong opinion, but I'd like to know yours opinion.
Okay.
Especially with your son being of his age, and then your stepchildren are coming of that age in the next several years. College.
Wow.
Is it worth the finance that it is?
I think I'm gonna say this. My biggest regret in life was not going to college, and I don't think it's not just about the academic enhancement, but the life lessons that you learn and the friendships that you make.
I agree.
So yeah, is it worth it? You know, maybe you don't get that degree right away, or you don't get the job that you took your degree in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But what you do get out of it is a life lesson of how to be on your own, how to interact with people that you're not forced to like go to school with, but you chose to go here. And you're learning to, you get, like I said, I never went. So if you're stuck in a dorm with someone that you don't know, which is mostly the case, you have to learn to live with that person, just like you have to learn to live with your partner. I think it's a great life. It's a great life experience.
See, I had a lot of issues. I went to local community college. I went to Hack for graphic design. I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
And every teacher that I dealt with, I knew more about the programming. I knew more about Photoshop. I knew more about Adobe Illustrator. I knew more about the machines that you screen print with. So I never understood why a teacher who should have a degree in teaching in this field, I know more than.
Yeah, see, I can't comment on, because like I said, I know with Jimmy, he's going to college right now and he's going for music business or something. It's,
okay.
It's his goal. And if you're out there listening, I'd appreciate it if you'd reach out to me. He wants to work for like Rock Lidditz.
Okay. Yeah, I see that.
And, he wants to have the business sense to be a part of that business and the music knowledge.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, kudos to him. That's what he wants to do. Now, like I said, never went.
Now, what would you want to go to college for?
Business.
So, if you are paying for an academic scholarship in business,
Yes.
why should you have to take classes like English for your class?
Well, I'll tell you, that's a good thing. And I had a manager who was a mentor for me when I worked for a local bank, and he was an English major. So when I wrote up in a lot of jobs right now, they ask you to write up your review for yourself for your annual review. And then your boss writes up a review and you compare the two. Not only that, but just emails, proposals, anything that you can do that you have to paint a picture for. He was huge on just drilling it down to me, like my grammar, my punctuation, he was just so big on that. So it's not about...
But in all honesty, that's stuff that you learned in high school.
Yeah, you're right to a degree. Yes. But he was a little bit more advanced on it because, like I said, he was an English major, and God rest his soul, he's no longer with us. But, he was a great mentor of mine, and there's some things about him that will stick with me for the rest of my life. His name was Todd, and, for him, I will always be grateful because he put me where I'm at today. So, but there's things I think, that you learn in life. And then there's things that, in high school, we can even say that you have to take classes on that I don't think are necessary, but I think they should teach you how, I think that you should learn how to balance a checkbook.
There's some classes that we're learning in school, and there's stuff that we should be learning in school.
Exactly. And I think that carries over to college as well. But the thing about college is you have the choice to take the class that you want.
Well, some of them
are required. You're right.
Like when I went for graphic design, I had part of my curriculum was history. I'm like, why do I need to learn history when I'm going for a graphic design degree? It didn't make sense to me. So like I was so dumbfounded by English. I can understand. Text is a big thing in graphics. I could understand the correlation. I understood math. I understood why I needed math. There was another class that I took and I couldn't figure out why. But then
So some of your gen eds is what you had problem with.
yeah, like something like that. But then I also had a simple psychology class on how to read people during conversation.
I think that's a great class.
That's a great class. I understood why, but like I didn't understand why I'm taking history, reading class. Why are they part of my curriculum for a graphic design degree? But that's hacks. When I found out that if I go to a more of a trade school, most of my curriculum is strictly for that world.
Yeah.
So I guess if you're planning on going to college, put some effort in studying the college, know how you learn, and then find a school that was perfect for you. I mean, I would have loved to go to I wanted to be a Tar Heel. I wanted to go to UNC.
You wanted to follow in Jordan's steps.
Yes. But that school wouldn't have been for me because I can't learn that way. Because once I find stuff that's unnecessary, I lose interest.
You shut down.
I lose interest in that. So that class is null and void to me. So I think that's kind of why I left school, because I knew more than the teachers, and then I'm learning other stuff that has nothing to do with my field.
Mm-hmm.
Or I couldn't find a olive branch on why it's even remotely in the bubble of my field.
Yeah, see, I just don't know. I just think that as much, if you are in college, if you're thinking about it, definitely get as much out of it for life that you can, because after college, it's the real world. And not that college isn't the real world, but, there's stuff that's thrown at you in life that you just have to be able to, buckle down and overcome.
I mean, and yeah, you're right. Because in college, you still have at least, you may not have somebody's whole hand, but at least you have fingertips of help.
Yeah.
When you're in the real world, it's you one-on-one with the world.
You don't have that olive branch.
No.
But, and I say that, but there are some professions, there's some jobs, there's where you do find that person that is an olive branch, like I did in Todd. And
I've learned so much stuff from people that are not even in graphic design for graphic design.
Yeah.
Like when I first met you, I wasn't doing clean cut non-club logos.
Well, that was just, I told you I had a vision of what I saw.
And then when I got that where I'm like, oh, I can do the cleaner stuff. I don't need to be stuck with the whole club look. And then I started doing a lot of clean work to a lot of companies that got me a lot of attention.
Yeah.
And then messing with somebody like Eddie made me switch up a lot with my club flyers. And then messing with this guy taught me, well, these colors are more attractive than these colors, and this is why. This color gives you this type of emotion. This color gives you that type of emotion. And I learned more by figuring it out myself than I did in school.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Yeah.
That's just me.
I think
everybody learns differently.
Everybody does. And, I applaud anyone that's in college, went to college, thinking about going to college. Follow your dreams, chase those stars, grab them, enjoy them, because, I'm a firm believer that's the one thing I missed out on. And, if that's something I can change about my life someday, I would like to.
So, Mr. Jimmy.
Yeah, let's loosen this topic up a little bit. Let's talk about The Masked Singer.
I'm so addicted to The Masked Singer. I'm so addicted to it. I love The Masked Singer. I look forward to it.
I love that we talk about it.
Yeah.
You and I text each other back. Oh, I think the chameleon's this person. No, I think the swan is this person.
I'm going to tell you what. I claimed them Russian dolls.
You knew it was Hanson?
I knew it was Hanson for the longest time. Because it was just the way that they were interacting, the way they hit their notes. And I followed Hanson. Wow. After the Bop song.
I thought I could see you singing Bop.
No, definitely not. But because I'm a huge R&B guy, and there's times where I will travel down a rabbit hole when it comes to R&B, especially singers that aren't famous, like the Mac Millers and Bryson Tillers that I enjoy a lot. And I found some songs from Hanson that I was like, I didn't know that was Hanson.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, these guys are so in tuned. And if you just have a passion for music in general, you can understand the amazingness of the white Boyz II Men.
You know, I thought about Boyz II Men there for a hot minute, but then there was 4 of them, even though they wound up with 3 originally when they pitched themselves to Michael Bibbins, who is from my favorite band of all times, New Edition, and of course Bell Biv DeVoe. But there was 4 Boyz II Men.
Yes, I remember that.
So I immediately said no. So that dropped me down to 2 different artists, and it was by the way they sang. It was either Hanson or it was the Jonas Brothers.
I can see that. I mean, Hanson, I see why you thought Boyz II Men, because their harmonies
they were
it's so in tune with each other.
But that's what makes them the brothers. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a brothers band.
So, who do you think is winning? I'm saying the Yeti.
I was going to say the Yeti. The Yeti is a full effect entertainer, dancer, singer. You know,
I think he's the only one out of the core that's left that has given us something different every time.
Oh yeah. I mean, the Chameleon is definitely
in his own little lane that he's been in.
He's rapping every time. You know, he's not going outside that box. And we all think we know who the Chameleon is.
Who do you think?
I'm going to go with what we talked about, Wiz Khalifa.
I've been leaning towards Wiz Khalifa towards the end. I thought it was Damian Lillard, basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever seen his he has a Hulu commercial where he raps, and it sounds like him, but I don't think Damian Lillard is that tall.
Jimmy doesn't watch The Masked Singer, and he was up with me one night.
JM?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So JM was up with me one night, and he's like, what's this show? And I'm like, it's The Masked Singer. How can you not know what this is? Season 5, Nick Cannon. You know, it's the show. And he's like, oh, Dad, that's Wiz Khalifa. I'm like, what? He's like, no, that's Wiz Khalifa. He's like, I said, no, he's not that tall, is he? He's like, yeah, he's like 6 something. I was like, okay. I was like, well, he's thin like that. I was like, all right. I said, I just don't know if I hear the voice. And he's like, Dad. And he played a Wiz Khalifa song. He's like, this is Wiz Khalifa.
The only thing that was bothering me about the Wiz Khalifa thing is, unless if he's just dialing it back, Wiz Khalifa has a good show presence. Like he has a good delivery. He has a good flow. The Chameleon is almost feels like if it's Wiz, he's dialing it back, because the Chameleon to me seems like somebody who's a big fan of rap but isn't a rapper.
Okay.
Like a full-fledged rapper that does it. Like if I rap, you can tell I rap. I got the stage. My breath is known I know how to rap.
I don't.
But if you would rap a song, like if you would do karaoke,
yeah,
you could tell the difference.
Oh yeah.
So it was almost to me for a while like it was somebody being karaokeing instead of a rapper being a rapper.
Okay, I see.
But the last song, he started coming out of him, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, the Yeti, I'm still torn on. The Pig, I think, is definitely one of the like 1990 boy band members.
I say Nick Lachey.
I was gonna say Brian from the Backstreet Boys.
I can see that though.
You know, the
Yeti's Omarion.
You think so?
I think so.
I'm not the Yeti. I'm still not sure on. The Swan, I think, is Noriani from Fifth Harmony? Normani.
I think it's the Spanish girl from 3LW, Adriana Bolin or something like that. I can't even say her name.
Well, I'll tell you, it's coming down. If you're watching The Masked Singer, it's on every Wednesday night, Fox, I believe it is.
Yo, if that Clue to Do dude is Jamie Foxx, yo.
Somebody,
of course, it's going to be Jamie Foxx.
Somebody has to be Jamie Foxx on this show. Because everybody thought the Fox was Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's the dude I think it's the comedian that's always on the show.
Yeah.
The comedian that's always with
Ken.
Yeah. Whatever his name is.
Yeah. I'll think of it here shortly, but yeah, I he's definitely could be somebody on the show. Yes.
Oh man. But I can't wait till it's over, man, because I want to see if I'm right. But I can't wait till each week because it's killing me.
It's fun. I mean, it's fun to sit there and try and guess who's who.
They try to do the same magic with the Masked Dancer, but they didn't have the same energy.
The Masked Dancer did not entertain me at all. I watched it briefly. It did not have the flow that the Masked Singer has, and I'm sorry, I'm not paying attention to my phone here. I'm actually looking up that comedian.
Are you not entertained? I know exactly who this is. And I swear that when Jamie Foxx ends up on the show, no one's going to guess that it's Jamie Foxx.
No, I agree with you on that.
Because nobody can throw their voice better than Jamie Foxx.
He is, he's definitely a triple threat. Yeah. So let me look this up here. Comedians on the Masked.
We need to put the Jeopardies.
Joel McHale.
Yep, that's him.
Yeah, that's Cludle-Doo or Cluckle-Doo or
Cluckle-Doo or
whatever he is. Anyways,
that damn turkey, chicken, whatever it is. Oh man, so now I get to press a button.
Yes, you love your buttons.
I love my buttons. They're so shiny. Jimmy.
You.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have news with your host, Jimmy Jam.
Oh, this one's good. This was actually sent to me by a listener. I don't know if he's a listener. Friend of a listener.
It just got sent to you.
Trying to get him to listen. So anyways, Michigan judge boots man with, and I have to censor this for the show, Butt Trucker 3000 as a screen name from Zoom hearing. Now, it was not Butt Trucker. It was Butt,
Everett
3000. So this is not a deleted scene from 2006 dark comedy or anything like that. This is based out of St. Joe County, Michigan, which it was Judge Jeffrey Middleton, and the guy appeared on screen because they're doing Zoom hearings right now. They're not, face to face. And the guy had his screen name was Butt Trucker 3000. The judge cited him for, contempt and told him, basically, you're done with this court case. And the guy was like, no. My sister set up my screen name for me. But it's, so the guy his last name was Saxon, and he said your name's Butt Trucker 3000, and he appeared confused and concerned because the guy that was the defendant had no clue what the judge was talking about. So he immediately began scanning the screen and claimed he did not type that screen name. He said that his sister had set it up for him because he was having difficulty with Zoom and didn't know how to operate it.
That is funny.
So
his sister pretty much sent him to jail.
He said that, it was an inside joke. He was embarrassed and he was very sorry. And Middleton said, before moving on and pressing matters, like in his own admission of guilt, which was he was in court for methamphetamines, residue during a traffic stop.
Ooh.
But he was hit with a $200 fine.
Butt trucker.
Butt trucker 3000.
Wow. Well,
What do you got for me?
well, not butt truckers, but you know how we like to do is heating up in the NBA. But one of my favorite things that we just happened to have over the weekend was the Hall of Fame inductee. They announced next year's Hall of Famers. Which
I saw this.
We'll talk about that next pod.
Yes.
But they inducted some great NBA stars this week.
And I think one of yours was
My favorite,
all-time favorite.
Mr. Kobe Bean Bryant, was inducted.
Yes.
His wife gave an immaculate speech. And to have none other than Michael Jordan stand back here, and then she's talking about why Kobe played hurt. He would always play hurt no matter what. He says, because I got to play for the fans in the nosebleed section because they paid to come see me play.
Yeah.
And you know where he got that from?
Where'd he get it from?
Jordan.
Really?
Remember the flu game?
Yeah. Yeah.
Kobe was at that game.
Really?
Yeah. And that's what made him say, he's playing with the flu. I need to pay. Just the way he plays. Amazing. Like her whole story was amazing, and it was very touching. Very touching.
Well, congratulations, to you and all the fans of Kobe for the great success that he has received. It's a shame he wasn't here to see it.
Yeah, that was I'm pretty sure he would have had a lot of jazz, because she said his favorite thing was to do was to outperform the doubters. That was his number one goal, was to make the doubters eat their words. She ended her speech with, "You're in the Hall of Fame now. You're a true champion. You're not only the MVP," which was a big thing that was chanted every stadium he showed up in. She says, "Now you're an all-time great." Now Kobe Bean retired, 18-time All-Star champion, five-time NBA champion, twice Finals MVP. He's two-time scoring champ, one-time NBA MVP. He's also in a great class with Kevin Garnett, and Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan with dreads, by the way.
Oh, wow.
It was one of the greatest, because I grew up watching all those players. I hated the Spurs because they were always going head-to-head with my Lakers, but Tim Duncan was just that amazing. Kevin Garnett was a part of the Celtics, which we all know, if you're a Laker fan, you do not like them Celtics. It was just amazing, beautifully done. And over the weekend, the incomparable Steph Curry is taking the 2021 scoring championship this year. He's the scoring king with, the guy shoots like 53s every game.
I'm still just wrapped around the whole Kobe story. That just made my weekend.
Yeah, he's definitely an icon to a lot of people.
We talked about being the greatest of all times.
Yeah, he's up there.
And you do have to look at that. You have to look at somebody who's not in the game. We've said that before. Should you be playing? Should you be alive? Should you be passed? When is your throne the greatest of all times?
I think, and I've been, ever since we had these conversations, I think about our conversation after we have our conversation, and you physically know when you're watching a player if they're great.
Yeah.
He was one of them. Michael was one of them. Bird, Magic, they all had that killer instinct. I'm going to take you out on this court. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. Yeah, I mean, you know greats.
Drew Brees.
Now, before I go to football, the most infamous rapper. You know, there's been 2 rappers that I know of joined the NBA. Master P played in the NBA for a short 1 year.
And who's the second one?
And last night, the incomparable J. Cole.
Oh, no.
Jermaine Cole made his NBA Farm League debut. Did pretty good.
Did he shoot anything, score any points?
Yeah, he scored a couple points. Hold on, I have it right here. He played a short 17 minutes.
Okay.
He had 3 rebounds. He had 2 assists, 3 points in his short 17-minute debut. But for somebody who was a rapper,
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Coming in and doing what he did. Congratulations to anybody who joined the Hall of Fame. That was magnificent. Now, NFL. One thing for the NFL for you.
What's that?
Week 3. The most highest ticketed event that early in the NFL. Do you know what it is?
I have no clue.
Week 3. Tom Brady returns. Goes head to head with the Patriots.
No.
The ticket sales are through the roof right now.
Wow.
Super Bowl champ Tom Brady with another team is going head to head with the Patriots and Cam Newton.
Where are they playing at?
In Boston.
Are they really in Boston?
He's coming back home. So you know it's going to be emotions through the roof.
Is he gonna shut Belichick down?
I think he's going to slice and dice him up.
I would love to see that.
Because I mean, in all honesty, the Patriots aren't the Patriots anymore.
No, they're not. And you know what? I'm still not a Brady fan, and you know, I will throw this out there. Subpoena said if I keep talking about Tom Brady, she's going to stop listening.
Does she know you have his poster on your wall?
No.
You have the Tom Brady underoos on?
No, not today.
Okay. The Cleveland Browns?
No.
Oh, okay. But, you know, it should be interesting. It's always good to see a revenge game. Brian Dawkins did it to the Eagles. You know, it's always fun. I remember when we took Terrell Owens and we played the Cowboys after that.
So this is week 3 in Boston.
Yeah, I'm. You know what? I'm gonna watch it.
Oh,
at least a quarter of it.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch a little bit of that.
Watch a little highlights. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before we wrap up, I would like to ask the listeners is if you have something you would like us to talk about, whether it's a topic to add to the show, a topic, another podcast you would like us to start doing, we would like to hear what you guys would like to hear.
Because this is why we do it, for you guys. We could talk all day long. We do. But it's fun to do it here so that all of you can sit back and enjoy as well.
And no, we are not doing Jimmy singing Peanut Butter and Jelly.
Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time.
But we got some cool things coming up.
We do. Coffee and questions.
Yeah, with
Gladfelder's Barbershop in East Petersburg. They're going to be next week.
I think we're going to have them on the pod too as well.
Oh, yeah. We're going to do a whole segment with them, and they're looking forward to it.
Oh, I got some good questions for them.
I'm just excited to hear, you know, we'll preface it with this. Subpoena is the only female barber in an entire male barber shop.
And she still knows more than sports about you.
Yeah, a lot more than I do.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you will see what keeps this face so beautiful. And the ears lowered.
Yeah.
I never got why they call the ears lowered. I guess because your hair goes.
Who knows? I don't know. But
Bring it back to Jack.
As always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another week of the Coffee Break Podcast. I'm Jimmy Jam.
I'm Larrigan.
Stay classy and thanks for listening.
Adios.
I want to thank everybody for listening to another episode of the Coffee Break Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to us on your favorite podcast streaming service. And of course, follow us on all social media platforms. And like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in to the shenanigans.
Thanks for tuning in to the Coffee Break Podcast.